A motorcyclist's helmet camera captured an incident near a highway toll station. Suddenly, two uniformed workers appeared. One of them threw a traffic cone right in front of the motorcycle. The driver couldn't avoid it in time and fell to the ground with the bike. He got up and asked them, "What do you mean by this?" The worker said motorcycles from other areas are not allowed on the highway. The driver replied, "I'm just here to get a regular toll card. What are you trying to do?" The motorcyclist who filmed the video said his heavy motorcycle is quite expensive and got damaged, costing tens of thousands of yuan. The police have gotten involved. Many people commenting online said the toll station's actions were frightening, and they worried what would happen if someone seriously got hurt. In another video, police in China show how they stop and check motorcyclists and electric bike riders who don't wear helmets. In the video, a traffic officer spots a man riding an electric bike without a helmet. The officer pulls out a baton and violently swings it at the rider with all his strength. The video shows the biker falling and seriously injuring his right leg. He was eventually carried away on a stretcher. The comments section exploded. Some said, "Sue this police officer and make him pay hundreds of thousands." Others said, "This is more than violent law enforcement. It's murder, and he should be charged with intentional homicide." One commenter shared, "The outcome was disappointing. Months have passed with no news. The officer was only suspended." Recently, Chinese authorities launched a large crackdown on electric bikes, enforcing heavy fines and confiscations. In some areas, officers even entered homes forcibly, causing concern on overseas social media platforms. A man from Shandong had his motorcycle confiscated by traffic police. But surprisingly, he spotted the same motorcycle again on the streets of Tanzania in Africa, with the Shandong license plate still attached. He posted photos online, which caused a big stir. Some people online joked that the police in Shandong are very efficient at handling cases. They said there must be at least 3 or 4 foreign trade steps involved in this motorcycle case. No one knows how much money each officer got from it, but one thing is clear: since they didn't even remove the license plate, the bike must be protected by local African gangs. Everyone probably knows who the biggest gang in Africa is now. Another comment said that selling stolen vehicles in China is nothing. Selling a child from an orphanage for 200 to 300,000 yuan is almost openly done. A video filmed by a bystander shows a food delivery worker stopped by traffic police. The police said they would confiscate his electric bike on the spot. The delivery driver took off the battery, then shocked everyone by smashing his own bike violently. While smashing it, he cursed. Finally, he kicked the bike over and walked away with the battery and his delivery box. Several police officers looked disappointed as they picked up the broken bike. People online commented, "Now that bike is hard to sell." One delivery worker said, "The second-hand bike I bought can't even be registered. The other day, the police stopped me, so I took the battery off and left with it because the battery is rented with a deposit. I can only give the bike to them." Someone else said, "This delivery guy has backbone. He smashed the bike instead of giving it to them. Too bad not many people are like him. If everyone did this, the police wouldn't dare to confiscate bikes." Another video shows a hard-working migrant worker who saved 3,000 yuan to buy a motorcycle. Before even getting home, the traffic police stopped him. They said his paperwork wasn't complete, and the bike didn't meet road standards. He faced fines and bike confiscation. The migrant worker was confused and upset. He couldn't understand why, since he bought the bike legally, he was punished. If the bike didn't meet standards, why didn't the police check the sellers or manufacturers? Why make innocent consumers pay the price? He argued with the police, but they insisted on the fine and confiscation. Angry and desperate, he grabbed a stone and smashed his own bike, shouting loudly, "Don't think I don't know. You take my bike and sell it for money. I'd rather burn it than to give it to you." People online overwhelmingly support the migrant worker. Comments say, "Yes, if it's illegal, then don't produce it." This migrant worker embarrassed the police, but in the end, he was detained for 7 days. In another recent scene from downtown Shenzhen, a food delivery driver sat in the middle of the road, emotionally overwhelmed and crying loudly. The traffic lane was blocked, and several police cars were ready to arrest him at any moment. A traffic officer approached and asked, "What's wrong?" The delivery guy said, "You guys took my electric bike." The officer said, "You're a delivery guy, and your electric bike was confiscated, right?" The man replied, "No, it wasn't confiscated, it was taken." Seeing the man on the edge of breaking down, the officer asked, "Where did they take it from?" The man pointed across the road and cried out in pain. Soon, police from a nearby station came over and told him to get up and come with them. The delivery driver lay down on the road and said, "Go ahead, carry me away and arrest me." The police saw he wasn't afraid and seemed ready to fight. They didn't force him, but promised to explain the situation about the bike. Eventually, the delivery driver was taken away by the police. Commenters online reacted strongly. To see a big man cry like this shows how helpless he feels. "I used to think this would be funny, until I entered society myself. It made this grown man cry. I want to know what happened next. Did they return his bike or was he detained?" A video filmed by a viewer shows police confiscating electric bikes all the way inside a school. They even brought tow trucks onto campus. Students were shocked and scared. In the end, the tow trucks were loaded full of electric bikes and drove away.
Friends in Shenzhen might have heard about this. When a motorcycle is seen on the road by surveillance cameras or police, the police track it all the way to the owner's home and take the bike from their garage. Yesterday, a court case was held on this issue. The police argued that, according to current rules, the fine is 2,000 yuan plus bike confiscation. But our side argues that confiscation is illegal here. Why? Confiscation means the bike should be seized on the spot. The police take control of the vehicle immediately. If the violation has ended and the bike is parked in the garage, taking it from the owner's home is not confiscation. This is called vehicle recovery, which does not meet the legal definition of confiscation. Also, the Shenzhen Traffic Police's 2,000 yuan fine is 10 times above the national limit. Going to someone's home to take their bike is another big mistake.
People online say breaking into homes to steal is the CCP's specialty. Now you get to see it for yourselves. This round of propaganda supporters won't get any favors. Another video shows Shenzhen's biggest bike impound lot in Shaojing, where over 200,000 electric bikes are tightly packed. There are even electric tricycles and four-wheelers.
The bikes taken by Shenzhen police are actually being sold online. Buyers say these bikes come from the Shenzhen impound lot. Journalists confirm this. He asks, will these sold bikes still be checked? If not, why were they taken in the first place? Could buyers end up buying their own confiscated bike? Who is really making money from this? Is this how Shenzhen is developing so fast?
Another large impound lot in Zhongshan, Guangdong, is the size of several soccer fields. Thousands of electric bikes pile up like mountains. The scene is just as shocking. People online comment that these bikes represent the hard-earned money of ordinary workers and are essential tools for their lives. Some posts hint, what are you waiting for? The time has come. Since the 2020 pandemic, China's economy has been declining. Official data shows national tax revenue dropped 3.4% in 2024, but non-tax revenue grew 25.4%, with fines and confiscations rising sharply. China's state media, First Financial, reports that in 2024, non-tax revenue reached 4.5 trillion yuan, growing 25.4% compared to the previous year. Officials say this rise mainly comes from some central government units handing over special income and local governments activating resource assets, which raised non-tax revenue. Among this, income from fines and confiscation grew nearly 15%. China's non-tax revenue includes special income, payments for using state-owned assets, administrative fees, fines and confiscations, and government housing fund income. Most of the fine and confiscation income comes from local governments, mainly at city and county levels. The revenue is mostly from police, courts, tax authorities, traffic departments, and market regulators. This includes regular fines and confiscations by police, traffic, tax, courts, and market regulation, plus confiscations related to anti-smuggling by police and market authorities. Researcher Liu Chengliang at Suzhou University's Dongwu think tank revealed in October 2024 that China's fine and confiscation revenue reached 428 billion yuan in 2022, hitting a 10-year high. He believes the sharp rise is because local governments rely heavily on land-related income, but the weak real estate market seriously hurts local finances. Meanwhile, western and central regions depend on higher levels of government for funding. When transfers from above fall short, fines and confiscations become an emergency way to make up revenue. It's important to note that Liu's data is only for 2022. In 2023 and 2024, to offset falling tax revenue, local governments generally increased income by activating existing assets and resources. At the same time, there have been many illegal cross-provincial law enforcement and chaotic fines, causing fine and confiscation revenue to grow quickly. Some people online point out that the CCP government has another huge amount of illegal income that also counts as fine and confiscation revenue, but is never recorded officially. This is the motorcycle confiscated in Shandong that later appeared in Africa's black market. Ms. Zhao Yu, who fled to the United States, was once an office director at a Guangdong import-export company. In 2021, she revealed this company had ties to Guangdong's public security and security departments, basically the private funds of these two departments. In an interview, Zhao said Guangzhou police have banned motorcycles for a long time, but many still ride in suburban areas. Police actively catch them and use big trucks to haul bikes one by one. She asked, where do these bikes really go? Most people have no idea. All these motorcycles are gathered together and then exported to African countries. We even helped them with customs declarations, one container after another. These goods, mostly secondhand, are sent to poorer African countries. According to data from China's Motorcycle Association in July 2019, about 190 cities in China have restrictions on motorcycles. Shenzhen in Guangdong province started its so-called strictest ever crackdown on motorcycles and electric bikes in March 2016. Officials said that within 10 days, they confiscated 18,000 electric bikes and detained 874 people. Dongguan City had banned motorcycles for years already, but in March 2021, many traffic police suddenly went out on the streets again, forcibly taking away people's motorcycles and electric bikes. They even searched homes door to door, confiscating children's tricycles as well. These motorcycle and electric bike bans have caused public anger. People complain, the ban has been in place for so long, and we've lost our main way to get around. Traffic jams are getting worse. Another said, if I could afford a car, would I even need to ride an electric bike to pick up my kids? Others ask, if traffic jams are the problem, why not ban cars instead? Some people online say that if Chinese authorities really cared about easing traffic and public safety, banning motorcycles and electric bikes entirely would be easy. They just stop selling them. But what actually happens is the government lets the buying and selling go on. Officially, there are bans, but they don't enforce them strictly. And then when people become numb and think it's okay, the government suddenly cracks down hard, catching people off guard. This way, they collect a lot of fines and then seize thousands of motorcycles and electric bikes. They have done this over and over countless times. Recently, Guangdong has launched another large crackdown on motorcycles and electric bikes. Anyone caught without a helmet faces the maximum fine of 200 yuan. But some people reveal that the urban management officers don't wear helmets themselves. They drive around at night on the confiscated bikes. Look, the urban management officers aren't wearing helmets. Their vehicles don't have license plates. Why can they break the law with no consequences? When the officers saw someone filming, they quickly drove away. One even shouted at the person filming, "I'm not your dad. Why are you filming me?" People online kept saying, where are their helmets and where are their license plates? This problem isn't just happening in Guangdong. Across China, urban management officers breaking the law keeps happening. When it gets exposed, people get really angry. On the morning of May 27th, a net user from Liaoning posted a video showing an urban management vehicle driving with its license plate partly covered. The video shows a vehicle labeled City Law Enforcement with its rear license plate obscured. On May 28th, the Fushun Public Security Traffic Police confirmed that this case was handled by the local traffic police team. The vehicle was fined 200 yuan and had 9 points deducted from its record. But the Fushun Housing and Urban Rural Development Bureau's Urban Management Enforcement Office said they had not received related information yet and would check whether this vehicle was really a law enforcement car. After the video went viral, many users criticized the officers, saying, blocking license plates, shouldn't the minimum fine be 2,000 yuan? Should they be detained? What's going on? Are they getting special treatment just because of urban management? If a regular person did this, what punishment would they get? Others asked, so who gets the points deducted? Who pays the fines? Maybe they're just covering up something shady again. Some added, I want to ask the urban management officer. The vehicle has big letters on it. Don't you recognize it? Or do ordinary people not recognize it? Why do you still need to check if it's an urban management vehicle? Some net users also said, covering license plates is still the better case. In some places, urban management vehicles don't even have license plates and just drive around without them. There have been many previous cases exposing urban management officers breaking the law with impunity. In July 2023, a net user from Kaifeng, Henan province, revealed a law enforcement vehicle displaying a city management license plate while driving on the road. In January 2022, a resident from Nanning, Guangxi, reported to the media that he often saw some urban management vehicles driving without license plates while on duty. Local media confirmed that several urban management vehicles without license plates were seen on multiple roads in Nanning. China's legal system is widely known to be corrupt, but the Chinese Communist Party's propaganda machine shamelessly continues to boast that China is ruled by law. Recently, something unexpected happened. According to Sanli News, a viral image circulated online showing what looked like official Chinese propaganda. But in a prominent spot, it said, I really can't keep hyping rule of law anymore. Was this an insider's real confession or a doctored image? It drew a lot of attention. The propaganda text read, "Rule of law is a major achievement of human political civilization and a strong driving force for national development." Sounds official at first, but then the next sentence said, "I really can't hyping rule of law anymore. Just make up your own." Below that, the text went back to the normal official tone, praising the Communist Party's efforts since the founding of the new China and reform and opening up. Many net users mocked this, saying things like, "Maybe no one reads it anyway. Their propaganda terms are so fake, they make everyone sick." Others said even their own people can't hype it anymore. Hilarious. Some people online said the CCP is launching yet another round of fines and bike confiscations, squeezing ordinary people. But now they've pushed people too far, and people are resisting. They'd rather smash their bikes than to submit to bullying. This scares the authorities' enforcers who don't dare to go too far, because nobody wants to face people with nothing to lose. It's shocking that the official legal propaganda contains such sarcastic and rebellious language. It would have been unthinkable before because it's a serious crime. The fact that this was left in black and white, unedited, shows that fearless attitudes are no longer limited to migrant workers or delivery men, but have spread to media and other professions. Spreading fear has been the Chinese Communist Party's most effective weapon against the people, but now that fear is slowly disappearing. The CCP's time is truly running out. Of course, there's also a possibility that the editor who made that sarcastic comment was recently one of the victims who had their electric bike taken away.